camera just switched off again. It was just a really not very nice time. So then, yeah, fast forward a year and a bit, and this is me now. So I hope that it's probably been a really boring story for you, but I hope that, you know, if you are going through the same things, it's good to know that, you know, it's not a death sentence if somebody tells you that you've got autoimmune hepatitis or lupus. You can go and live a full life. You can be happy. It is possible. And yeah, it does. It totally. I think about it a lot. Obviously, I'm a very reflective person, and to begin with, I think that was a bad thing. Now, having lived through 5 years of, you know, with this illness, 6 years for lupus, I'm very lucky in that it doesn't, touch wood, affect my life too much. I'm very lucky that the medicines work, and I'm very lucky that I have a really supportive healthcare team around me. But I would say that if you are recently diagnosed, to be proactive about your own health. So don't rely on doctors to do everything for you. Make sure that you get your bloods taken on a regular basis. Make sure that you schedule in appointments for your ultrasounds. Ask your doctors what you need to be, you know, doing. You get good consultants and bad consultants. I've had a fantastic consultant in Edinburgh. I can't thank him enough, and I've now got a consultant up in Inverness as well, who seems to be very on the ball. So I've been very lucky in that respect, and I know that a lot of people don't have great consultants, but it's your body, so feel free to keep on asking to get a better service. And this is in the NHS, obviously, in the UK, which we are so lucky to have. And I cannot thank the NHS enough for being such a fantastic service. They're just great. And yeah, just try not to worry too much. Like, please, if I could give everyone a hug who has to deal with all this stuff, I would, because I just think it's such a lot to take on board. And especially in the UK, there's such, from a social perspective, there's such an emphasis on drinking and getting drunk, and that seems to be the crux of everyone's social life. So I see it as a blessing in some ways that I have a valid excuse not to be part of that, because it's really not my scene. I do not miss going out partying. I miss dancing and music, but I don't really miss sitting in bars and stuff like that. And as such, I don't tend to do that with my friends. I tend to do things like going out for coffees or going to the cinema, or stuff that doesn't involve drinking. And I have a great excuse if, you know, I'm on a night out. I can always go home a bit early because I'm getting tired or whatever. So, but that's a very minor issue when you consider everything else. But yeah, I think, you know, it takes a bit of time to adjust yourself to living with this and adjusting your mindset, but it is so important to keep positive and to remember and be grateful for the things that you do have and you are able to do. And remember, you know, every day you wake up and you might have a rubbish day at work, but I find that having these conditions gives you such a good perspective on life. So you might have a rubbish day at work and your email might crash, but you find it really difficult to get stressed about it, because you're like, at the end of the day, I'm not going in for a liver biopsy today, I'm not going in to get banding done today, you know, today is a good day. Similarly, you know, being able to eat the foods that you like, just be grateful that you have an appetite and that you're able to eat them. You know, it's just appreciating the little things in life. I think that's what I have done. And yeah, you know, I'm really sad that I won't be able to have the same kind of life maybe as I would have had without these illnesses. Like, I feel that it does make me quite reserved in terms of, you know, my life plans. So I wouldn't ever want to really move abroad away from my family in case anything happened. I wouldn't want, I don't really plan stuff years and years in advance, because I just don't know what's going to happen. You know, I might get a flare, my liver might fail. This is another thing, sorry, I did actually have slight liver failure when I had my bleed, because I got, it's called ascites, I think. It's basically fluid in the abdomen. It's just your liver not being able to get rid of the liquid in your body. That was really uncomfortable as well, but that went away quite quickly. So yeah, I might get another flare where this all happens again, my liver doesn't recover, and you know, I need to be put up for a transplant, or you could not receive that transplant, which is a very sobering thought. But you know, on the same token, I could walk out onto that road and get run over by a bus. So, and that sounds flippant, but I think if you were to sit and worry about how ill you are and how likely you are, like, everything considered, I shouldn't be able to be as healthy as what I am, because I've got so much going against me, and yet somehow my body works. So you've just got to roll with it, and you've just got to take it for what it is, and just be really matter of fact about it. Try not to get depressed. I mean, that's fine for me to say. I don't struggle with joint pain and just pain in general, so I have utter empathy for people who do have this condition and do feel like rubbish, but I don't worry too much about what could happen to me, because you would just spend your whole life worrying, and that's pointless. It's really a total waste of energy, and I don't have all that much energy to waste. And it's definitely given me a drive to get the most out of life, so I've done a whole load of stuff that, you know, I probably would have been like, yeah, maybe no, I'll do it later in my life, but I'm like, no, I will do it now. It does hold me back from travelling, on a practical term, from the expense of travel insurance, but also in terms of, I'm scared when I go on a plane that I'm going to get another bleed, because it could technically happen at any time. And when you're abroad, like, it just adds another level of insecurity that I could do without. So yeah, it affects me from that point of view. So I think I've got extra considerations that a lot of people my age probably wouldn't have, and I'm definitely not like carefree, woo. I do feel like I've got quite a lot to deal with sometimes, but who doesn't? So it's just how everybody has problems, I think, but it's how you deal with them that makes you the person that you are. And I wouldn't say that, I'd be very happy if somebody gave me a cure for what I have tomorrow. I wouldn't say I wouldn't be happy, but as to whether I would go back and change what's happened to me, I don't know if I would, because I know that I wouldn't be the same person that I am today without having had all this experience. And in that, I mean that I think it's made me more mature, more empathetic. It's given me a lot of confidence in myself and how I interact with people. Speaking with doctors, you're working with sort of professional people, so I think that's given me a lot more confidence in terms of speaking to people who are, quite intimidating, and it's given me courage, and I'm able, if somebody had told me when I was 12 that in 15 years time, you'd have lost most of your hair, you'd have been really seriously ill, and you'd possibly need a liver transplant at some point in the near future, I would probably have, cried and cried and cried and cried and thought, there's no way I want that as my future. But that's how life turns out, and I am who I am, so you just got to roll with it. So yeah, try not to let it get you down too much. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed listening to this. I do have a blog as well, which you can find if you go through the British Liver Trust website, and that sort of just goes into more detail about the ups and downs of the past. I think I've been doing it since about 2014, 15 now, so yeah, just giving you sort of an insight into living with it, but I don't tend to update it all that often, so yeah, there's not too much stuff there. And yeah, I'll not go on for too much longer. So thank you very much for listening, and take care.